So, Resident Evil 7, it's out. It's a thing. And on top of that, there's also a major change. As you can see, this footage right here is not Outlast, and it's not any type of other first-person game. This is actually Resident Evil 7. And this isn't even Resident Evil playing on PSVR either. No, this is just the regular version of Resident Evil 7. I guess the enhanced version, technically, if you want to count me playing and recording off the PS4 Pro. But anyways, it is Resident Evil. This is what you're watching right here. Now, I didn't get the most exciting gameplay, unfortunately. Some really cool stuff happened earlier on. Unfortunately, though, I didn't capture it, and also at the same time, probably would have been best if I didn't capture it just so you all can experience that epicness for yourself if you decide to pick it up. But for the record, I am a couple hours into the game right now, and I kind of want to talk about my thoughts, impressions on it so far, and really what I think, what I recommend. Now, do I recommend going out and getting this game immediately? Honestly, I don't know, because I haven't gotten fully into it yet. I haven't gotten fully invested, but so far, from what I can tell you, it's a pretty solid game, and that's actually putting it lightly. First off, when it comes to the tech of the game, this game is running at 60 frames a second. That's it. 60 frames. I don't know what the exact native resolution is, but if you got to play the early demo, you can really expect the same type of performance there, which, in all honesty, is excellent. This is one of the few titles I've seen that is actually properly polished as well, so thank you very much for that. Again, this is the PS4 Pro version that you're seeing, but when I was playing the demo of it prior, I did play it on the regular PS4, and I didn't have any issues there. Now, for any veteran of the Resident Evil series, you might see this crazy departure of going all of a sudden into first person and you're not seeing any familiar characters yet. And honestly, it's kind of throwing me off as well too. In fact, I really don't know why Capcom decided to slap Resident Evil on here. My only guess is that they want to do something radically different and they were afraid that new IP wouldn't sell very well, so they kind of just slapped and put the Resident Evil universe into it. So far, it seems to be selling well and people seem to be catching on to it, so I guess that's good. But you want to know what happened the last time Capcom tried to reinvigorate the Resident Evil series and formula? They got Devil May Cry, and they spun off a pretty successful series off of that. And you know what happened the time before that when they tried to make a new Resident Evil game? They got Onimusha, which, I mean, Devil May Cry, we haven't really seen a new entry aside from the reboot in the past few years, and Onimusha, there's nothing that's really happened with that on 7th or 8th gen systems, which is really unfortunate, but point is, there's been 2 times, at least in public history, that Capcom has tried to do a crazy one-off of the Resident Evil games or change up the formula, and then we end up getting a really awesome kick-ass series, so I don't really know why they did this. Of course, one could also say that they were able to do this successfully in the Resident Evil universe with Resident Evil 4, because that was such a departure from the first 3 games, but then that kind of devolved, where Resident Evil 5 just became a action game where you shoot infected people, and for Resident Evil 6, I'll put it like this: you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. However, when it comes to the Resident Evil games, their cover art is normally pretty awesome. You can kind of tell a developer is just given up completely when there's a long-standing series like this, and the cover art is just a number. Oh, and if you're looking at the screen right now, look for the giraffe. Now you can't ever unsee that. But so far, Resident Evil 7, good, bad, pass, get, what should I do on there? Well, again, the tech I'm very impressed with on it, but what about the game itself? Honestly, if you have played the demo, you can probably expect the same type of gameplay element here, except now it's actually expanded. Now they actually give you weapons. You can, of course, do more in the house, which is another surprising thing, because apparently I had been reading prior to this, like this is months ago at least, that it wasn't just going to be that house, but then all the promo material was leading up to the Baker house, and then the first few hours of the game, you're in the Baker house, and your goal is to escape, so I don't really know what happened there, but point is, it's still pretty well done so far. Of course, you're not only limited to the parts that you had in the demo, it is much more expanded, like you all are seeing right here, and then when it comes to the scare factor on it as well, I know there's been people who've said they've screamed, they've been jumping and all that, and I myself, honestly, I have a pretty high horror tolerance. One of the few things that does get to me when it comes to horror stuff is Silent Hill 2 especially can really trigger me. And I don't know if it's just because it's a terrifying game or if it's my weakness, but most of the time I can handle horror and I can laugh it off pretty well. But this has made me kind of jitter a little bit. Not so much a jump, no screams or anything, but it has surprised me in one area, which has been pretty neat, so there's at least that element there. And when it comes to the atmosphere, they've absolutely nailed it down. The sound design has been excellent on here. They really draw you in, and they've done a great job with the gameplay mechanics on here too. And I'm not just talking about the controls, I'm talking about, unfortunately I'm not showing the footage on here, but like in the demo, if you played that, the first hour, a beginning hour, something like that, where you kind of play about half the demo in a videotape VHS mode, you actually get to utilize that again, but it's expanded upon, and there's different segments that are like that, and it's neat to see those as well too. Again, just something that is departing from the norm of the series, but it's doing pretty well so far. Now, honestly, if I have to summarize this game in one word from what I've experienced, well, you know what? I can't even do it as well. I'm just gonna have this guy say it. Disgusting. And yeah, I mean, that really sums it up. Disgusting. This game is absolutely disgusting so far. That's the best way of putting it. It's vile, it's gross, it has made me squeamish with these disgusting enemies right here, but you know what? It's still a great game so far, and I've been highly impressed with it. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm still going to be playing this, I'm still going to be going through it, and I'm not going to be streaming it most likely. I'm probably not going to be doing a Let's Play or anything either, just because I've said it on a stream before, but this is one of these games where I kind of just want to sit back, relax, and enjoy the game, although I don't know how much relaxation I can do, but I can enjoy it still pretty well. In fact, I still kind of even struggle to get this footage just because, you know, there is the manual saving system in here, so I had to do that, and then I just kind of hooked it up to my main TV and got it. And this is one of those games where I don't really want to capture footage off of. I just don't. There's some games I want to, other games I don't. And this is just one of those games I feel like I just want to go in, experience it, and play it fully for myself and immerse myself in it. So if you can do that, that'd be great. I haven't tried the PSVR version yet, but from what I see, it's very well done. And it's terrifying. I can let you all know on that later on. Maybe I'll even have some footage of that. I have no idea. But point is, there's not going to be anything super extended from what I know. Anyways, let me know what you all think of Resident Evil 7 if you all are going to be picking it up. If you have picked it up, if you like it, if you hate it. Because honestly, I haven't really heard anyone say anything bad about it. But I wanted to put my opinions and thoughts and feelings out on the game so far. So far, again, as I said, best way to summarize Resident Evil 7, it is disgusting. But it's a good game so far. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, a like would very much be appreciated. If you absolutely hated it and you thought this was disgusting, a dislike is fine too. Disgusting.